When the sword is once drawn, the passions of men observe no bounds of moderation. You should not have taken advantage of my sensibility to steal into my affections without my consent. In politics, as in religion, it is equally absurd to aim at making proselytes by fire and sword. Heresies in either can rarely be cured by persecution. The nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. There is a certain enthusiasm in liberty that makes human nature rise above itself in acts of bravery and heroism.
A well-adjusted person is one who makes the same mistake twice without getting nervous. Real liberty is neither found in despotism or the extremes of democracy, but in moderate government. The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments or musty records. They are written, as with a sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature, by the hand of the divinity itself, and can never be erased. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this: you must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. There are seasons in every country when noise and impudence pass current for worth, and in popular commotions especially, the clamors of interested and factious men are often mistaken for patriotism. Why has government been instituted at all? Because the passions of man will not conform to the dictates of reason and justice without constraint. It is the advertiser who provides the paper for the subscriber. It is not to be disputed that the publisher of a newspaper in this country, without a very exhaustive advertising support, would receive less reward for his labor than the humblest mech. To all general purposes we have uniformly been one people, each individual citizen everywhere enjoying the same national rights, privileges, and protection. Men often oppose a thing merely because they have had no agency in planning it, or because it may have been planned by those whom they dislike. Safety from external danger is the most powerful director of national conduct. Even the ardent love of liberty will, after a time, give way to its dictates. The inquiry constantly is what will please, not what will benefit the people. In such a government there can be nothing but temporary expedient, fickleness, and folly. Let us recollect that peace or war will not always be left to our option, that however moderate or unambitious we may be, we cannot count upon the moderation, or hope to extinguish the ambition of others. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this: you must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. The voice of the people has been said to be the voice of God, and, however generally this maxim has been quoted and believed, it is not true to fact. The people are turbulent and changing, they seldom judge or determine right. The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments or musty records. They are written, as with a sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature, by the hand of the divinity itself, and can never be erased. Men are rather reasoning than reasonable animals, for the most part governed by the impulse of passion. Constitutions should consist only of general provisions. The reason is that they must necessarily be permanent, and that they cannot calculate for the possible change of things. Real firmness is good for anything, strut is good for nothing. There can be no profit in the making or selling of things to be destroyed in war. Men may think that they have such profit, but in the end the profit will turn out to be a loss. If it were to be asked, what is the most sacred duty and the greatest source of our security in a republic? The answer would be, an inviolable respect for the Constitution and laws, the first growing out of the last. A sacred respect for the. For my part, I sincerely esteem the Constitution, a system which without the finger of God, never could have been suggested and agreed upon by such a diversity of interests. The powers contained in a constitution ought to be construed liberally in advancement of the public good. A treaty cannot be made which alters the constitution of the country, or which infringes and express exceptions to the power of the constitution. I never expect to see a perfect work from an imperfect man.